Diplomacy in 2025 often feels less like careful negotiation and more like a high-stakes game of musical chairs. Except here, the music never stops and everyone is running in different directions, it seems. This week, Putin was in China, first at the SCO summit in Tianjin and then at the military parade in Beijing. Yesterday, he held a press conference. Putin said that he is ready to meet Volodymyr Zelensky, the Ukrainian president. In fact, Putin claimed that he had never refused to meet Zelensky.
By the way, Donald Trump asked me to hold such a meeting. I said this is possible. At the end of the day, if Zelensky is ready, let him come to Moscow, and such a meeting will take place.
So that's the catch. Putin is ready to meet Zelensky, but in Moscow. Now, security officials warn that Zelensky traveling to Moscow would be extremely dangerous. It is too risky for Zelensky. The Ukrainian president has proposed meetings in neutral countries, the likes of Austria and Turkey, but the Kremlin has consistently refused. So many analysts believe that Putin's public offer is more about appearances. And amid all of this, the Russian president also had a jibe for Washington, a colonial-era jibe. He warned the US to not use tariffs and sanctions to pressure India or China.
The colonial era is now over. They have to understand that they cannot use this tone, speaking with their partners. Attempting to weaken their leadership, built through difficult histories, is a mistake. You have countries like India with 1.5 billion people. China, with powerful economies. But they also have their own domestic, political mechanisms and laws.
Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, US President Donald Trump kept himself center stage. He told reporters that he would speak with Zelensky shortly. Remember, Trump has met Putin in Alaska. This happened last month. After that, Zelensky went to the White House. Then Trump set a deadline, a 2-week deadline for a meeting between Zelensky and Putin. That deadline has now expired. So what will Trump do? He's highly ambiguous and evasive about the next steps. He claims that strong action has already been taken. Listen to this.
Well, I'm having a conversation with him very shortly, and I'll know pretty much what we're going to be doing. We've taken very strong action, as you know, and in other ways we've taken very strong action. But I'll be speaking to him over the next few days, and we're going to see.
With who, sir?
I'm going to know exactly what's happening. But I'm not happy with all the people.
So Trump is going to speak to Zelensky. But what about Putin? Trump says he has nothing to say to the Russian president and that he's not happy.
I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
What about Europe? What are they doing? Well, the so-called Coalition of the Willing is convening in Paris. This is a gathering of 30 countries led by French President Emmanuel Macron. The meeting is not just ceremonial, it is a high-stakes effort to outline concrete measures to support Ukraine.
We are ready as Europeans to offer security guarantees to Ukraine and the Ukrainian people the day a peace deal is signed. This is the commitment we made in Washington. The contributions that were prepared, documented, and confirmed this afternoon at the level of the defense ministers in an extremely confidential manner allow me to say the preparatory work is complete.
At the heart of the discussions are 3 major security guarantees. First, a reassurance force. This is meant to bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities on the ground. Second, expanded air patrols to monitor and respond to threats in the Ukrainian airspace. And third, a naval demining force to ensure that Ukraine's ports and coastal routes remain safe and functional. Together, these steps signal Europe's unified stance. In fact, the NATO chief was quite clear. Strong security guarantees for Kiev are non-negotiable. He said it was not for Russia to decide if the West can deploy troops to Ukraine. So this coalition of the willing, these 30 countries, are sending a message. Europe wants to back Ukraine and do so on its own terms.
Ukraine is a sovereign nation. If Ukraine wants to have security guarantee forces in Ukraine to support a peace deal, it's up to them. Nobody else can decide about it. And I think we really have to stop making Putin too powerful.
So diplomacy is in full swing. But will this make a difference on the battlefield? Yesterday, Russia launched more than 500 drones and missiles at Ukraine. There were explosions in the west of the country near the Polish border. NATO jets were scrambled. Some people were even killed. So while leaders may meet and make pronouncements, the war does not wait for meetings, summits or press conferences. Ukraine has missiles and drones raining down. People are still dying. Meanwhile, Putin is striking a calm, strategic pose. In Washington, Trump is being ambiguous and non-committal. In Paris, the Europeans are plotting concrete actions. Basically, there's a lot of talking as the clock keeps ticking and the music never stops.